Hey, you guys. Okay, I got them done. I'm so excited. Um, it feels like I haven't made journals for a long time. Um, yeah, so I got these babies done. And I don't know. I just love them all. I'm almost tempted to keep one to just saying. But I never do. So I don't think I'm gonna. But anyway, so I really just wanted to kind of showcase the covers and keep them simple, which has sort of become my style, I guess. But I love this. I love the gold on these, and I love to mix metals, like different metal base metals. So I really wanted to just add something simple as far as a charm. I didn't want to, like, I was going to do these like super blingy, like, I picked up these little frog charms at Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago, and I was going to make like a real chunky, junky sort of charm to go on these, but I thought that didn't really go, So I just went with the skeleton key. So these skeleton keys are keys that I bought from Louise from France. So I guess, they're French skeleton keys, although I think a skeleton key is just a skeleton key regardless of where it came from. But anyways, so I had enough of them to add one on each journal, and they're just cool because each one is a little bit different. Some are smaller than others. I put them on a little, I was going to put them on a clasp, but the clasps that I had were just like this really bright silver, and I was thinking I could tone them down with some alcohol ink or something, but then I thought, no, just use a little piece of ball chain. So I went with that. I thought that was a little more rustic anyways. Anyway, so I just love these, and I think that they're super special, and I thought that these journals deserved something special like this. So anyway, and then also I didn't have any red seam binding, so I just pulled out some distress inks, and not the oxides. The oxides don't really work for this, but the regular distress inks definitely work. And I used kind of like this almond color, like a dark almond color seam binding, and just dyed it this really pretty dark red color. So I did some other ones that turned out a lot brighter red, and I didn't really like that. So I'm glad that I tried that darker almond color. So if you happen to have a bunch of seam binding in like some of those beige tones, try dyeing them with distress ink. It works really nice. I just kind of take the pad and drag the seam binding through it while it's like down on the table, and then just wet it with water and scrunch it up, and it just dyes really nice, and you actually get kind of a little bit of a distressed look where the dye sort of takes in some areas and then it misses a little bit here and there. So I don't know, I just like the way it turned out. And then I also did like a dark brown, a medium toned brown, and it just gave it kind of a nice rich red tone. Anyway, so enough of that. Also, the little book plates, took some of my collage that I've done a long time ago, added a little word on each one. I think I did curious a couple times, a couple different ones, and then glued that into the back, and then I did the UV resin to seal those. So yeah, so those worked out pretty nice. This particular journal is the one where it had that big gash in the bottom. So I just added a bunch of ink gold on there and kind of rubbed it in really, really deep and sort of polished it a little bit. So I kind of like the way that looks. And then I just did the book corners too. So with a nice chunky hitch post. I was going to do a ball chain closure on these also, but since they're so large and there was so much stuff that I wanted to put in them, this is a lot more flexible, like as far as how long the the tie is, because this is absolutely adjustable, right? You can make the closure shorter or longer. Anyway, blah blah blah. So there's 12 of these. I'm working on the listings now. It's right now it's about 6, well, it'll probably be about 7 p.m. Pacific time by the time this video uploads. So I will get these, I'll get the listings done probably within the next hour or so. So they potentially will already be listed by the time you see this video. If not, then they will be soon. I will get them listed tonight though. Anyway, so let's look through one of these and I'll show you what I did. So they've each got 5 signatures. If you watched some of my process videos while I was working on these, I kind of showed you all the stuff that I wound up doing. When I did the book plate, I was going to make like a large pocket here on the inside front cover that would have covered up these little circles. And that's from the, I like to use a brad when I attach these that actually goes through the cover, just because it makes it a lot more sturdy. And then these are glued on also, so they're really, really snug. But I like to cover up the other edge of the other side of the brad. So that's what those little circles are. Anyways, I wanted to do like I wanted to cover those. And the only way that I thought that was going to work, I was going to maybe put a label there, but nah. And then I was going to do a big pocket, like a gusseted pocket, kind of like the ones in Jenna's journals that I was really goo-gooing over. But then I remembered I had all of these envelopes that I made quite a while ago. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just add one of those on the inside front cover of each one. And, I don't care about those little circles. They don't bother me. But anyway, so I added one of these little envelopes with the window. And they've got a little magnetic closure, little book plate on the flap. And then one day I just sat and cut out a whole bunch of little bugs and leaves and stuff with my new little sidekick, and cut out just lots of little things like that for you to use in your journals. I was gonna glue these in on different pages and stuff, but then I thought it would be more fun for you to do that yourself. So I just stuck a selection of them in a little glassine envelope and tucked them into this front pocket in this little envelope. So anyway, so you get a little collection of those in each one of these journals, and I like that you can see them through the window there. Anyway, you can't put a lot of stuff in this, but you can put a little bit. Also I wanted to preserve some of the marbled paper. If I had done that big pocket, you really wouldn't see much of that paper, and I love that paper. So anyway, so I did like a pocket or something on the outside page of each signature, and some of them have a pocket, others I just paper clipped something onto it or whatever. But anyway, so some of the tags that I made on video, and I didn't put, I'm telling you all the things I didn't do, but I decided not to tie strings into all of them, just because it kind of makes them more bulky, and I had so much other stuff I wanted to put in these. I just didn't want them to get too bulky, because they're already like pretty fat. And then a bunch of just images that I have that I printed off, cut up a bunch of those and included them. And initially I was going to just put together a pack that would go with the journal, but then I thought, well, let me just see if I can get it all into one journal, and I did. So I thought, okay, well, I got to do that on all of them now. So that actually makes it a little easier on me. I don't have to have a separate pack of stuff. So, but there is a ton of stuff in these journals besides just the pages. There's a ton of stuff. So there's some completed tags, and use some of those little images that, you know, these are actually printed on some glossy cardstock, and my printer was going haywire that day, and so some of them turned out kind of weird, and I actually kind of liked the way that they printed, so I cut them out. Anyway, so this is just a little pocket. I included some of the papers that I just bought, you know, and I've kind of been showing you guys. I just took out kind of a selection of those and cut them up into just pieces and tucked them into the pockets in these journals so that you guys could make your own tags and whatnot, you know, just because I think that's kind of fun, and it's part of the fun with junk journaling, right? So as usual, you know, lots of writing space, some of the wrapping papers, some coffee dyed paper. This is beautiful old vintage ledger paper, pages from some of my old French language books. This is from a farm ledger. Some onion skin. I used the last of my onion skin paper in these, and then some of this really cool old vintage pink. It's supposed to be red, but it's really pink margin paper. This was a garden guide, Henderson's Garden Guide and Record. Some pages out of that. It's like a gardening journal, but it was like printed in like the 40s, 30s or 40s. Anyway, so some of the pages are, you know, just about vegetables and crops and stuff like that. And then some of them are the actual like journal pages where you can record, you know, what you planted and when and how it's doing and all that. Some ledger, some more just really nice like resume paper, some old vintage grid paper, bunch of little pieces of ephemera that I've printed off with some of that Canson drawing paper that I love to use. I bought a whole bunch of this paper because I want to do some marbling. I just haven't gotten around to doing the marbling, but I can't resist the paper. It's just really, really nice texture paper. It's great for pastels or charcoal or anything like that. Some pages from that Florilegium book that I love. Some other ledger. I did the little envelope pockets in the center of some of the signatures. And then again, just ephemera that I've printed off, things that I've scanned from my collection. I came across some pages of Tracy Fox images that I had printed out a long time ago and have never used. So I just cut those up and stuck them in some of the pockets. I gave you a few pages from this book of they're just like quotes on different subjects, right? So you got like a little selection of those. I went to Joann's yesterday because I was out of the Tim Holtz, the Brads, the little Brads that he has, because they're a little bit longer. The Brads that I had were too short to go through this book plate and the cover and give me some excess on the inside. So I needed some of those longer Tim Holtz Brads. Anyway, so while I was there, I picked up a bunch of packs of his just ephemera stuff, you know. Anyway, so some of those tags, he has those packs of tags, and anyway, so I used some of those in these journals, and some of the like butterflies and flowers and stuff too. So I don't usually use those that much, but I just couldn't pass them up. I was there and they were calling me. So anyway, so some more of the papers that, you know, some of the newer papers that I just bought, some more images from scans, another tag. I have this really cool, oh, it's right here actually. It's this stamp that where they use to cancel stamps, you know. It's so grungy and inky. But anyways, when I was doing some of these tags, I thought it would be fun to just, I always forget that I have this. But anyway, so I canceled these stamps. So some more just, you know, just pockets and lots of goodies. Each one obviously is a little bit different. I love the way that these came out, but I love the way they scanned, and the reproduction is nice. So I will be probably using those a lot. This was an old like botanical flower identification guide that I have. This is a page from an old farm ledger that I thought was really cool, and I thought you could use it, you know, in collaging in your journal or whatever. Just nice to have some old vintage stuff, right? This is from an old French, like it's like an agenda, but it has all of this other stuff in it too. But it has all these really cool little pages that are kind of like graph paper and whatnot. So those were definitely scannable and cool. So I printed off a bunch of those too. I swear I'm going to buy an EcoTank printer this year. I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do it. Anyway, I took apart a couple of my little flower guide books, you know, those little cute ones. Took apart a couple of those, one flower one and then a bird one. So I gave you a couple pages out of those. Another French lesson book, some penmanship paper, some other floral, you know, botanical book pages that I have. And this is from that gigantic French ledger from the travel agency or whatever. And it's so huge. Obviously, I had to cut it down. But so there's a few pages from that ledger in each one of these journals. Some more onion skin. Just took some pages from a few random books that I thought would be fun for you to use, you know, throughout your journal for different things. This is another one of that farm ledger. Just, you know, stapled in some tags here and there, and this is like a little tuck spot. I love this page. Added in here and there, just a little paper bag, just stapled it onto the edge of the page. And you could easily take that off if you don't like it there, but there it is. So I printed some of the French encyclopedia. Oh, that's not what this is. This is that really old German botanical book that one of these days I'm gonna take it and have it scanned properly at Office Depot or something like that, because this is really a beautiful book. But when I scan it, even though I have a large bed scanner, it's still not big enough to scan the pages completely, because I want all the text and everything in it, and it just kind of misses it. So one of these days I'm going to take it and have it scanned properly, and maybe offer it as a digital. Anyway, So some more just pieces of that, my new papers and stuff. I just wanted to share some of them and didn't really feel like making a whole bunch of tags out of it. And I thought you might have fun just playing with it anyway. So yeah, so see, this is one of the outside pages, and I didn't put a pocket on it because I thought you might want to add a pocket. But I just took, I have all of these notepads and different like collections of stationery and stuff. So I just took some pages from, you know, from all of those different ones, and these are some little postcards that you can fold up and mail. And then I added one of these images. I can't remember what book that was, but I thought this would make like a nice little writing board or something like that. So just clipped it in there. Oh, there's another one of those little quotes. This is like a little, just a little, see, it's just that Tim Holtz ephemera stuff, just stapled it on the edge. Some more French ledger there. Just love the script, and the paper in that ledger is so beautiful. It's really, it's heavy and yummy. Anyway, this is another old little notebook. Some more ledger pages from some of my smaller little notebooks. There's a little selection of them in here from 3 or 4 different ones. So some grid paper, more wrapping paper. I had printed off some of the old French sheet music, and I just love the covers of them, so printed some of those. Another piece of ledger. These center pockets are mostly full with just pieces of the papers that I cut apart. There's some Mrs. Coggs images in here also from one of her collections that I bought a long time ago. Some of my little collage that I did. This little note came out of this book. See, I just scanned one of these pages. The color is off a little bit, but yeah, it's okay. Anyway, so that's what this was. This was just like a little diary, a little French diary. It's got like little quotes on each page. I'm not ready to tear this book apart yet. So I didn't share pages out of it because I just think it's really, really pretty. But it does open up flat, so I was able to scan it. Anyway, and I like that little note card. So anyway, so just want you to know there's a lot of little bits in here that you can use to make tags, or you can glue them in wherever you want in your journal. Some more Tracy Fox images. And then this little pocket or little paper bag. I just added a few little envelopes in there, a couple little glassine envelopes. One of those coffee dyed envelopes that I got from Kate, and some little ephemeras. Little ephemeras. So each journal has one of those little packs of envelopes. What else did I put in here? Some more onion skin, some larger tags. I did like a pretty large tag in each one. This is another page from that agenda. These pockets came out of this French book that was here's the full page. So it was bound into a book like this, right? And these are for negatives. So, you know, like if you use like a view camera, like a large format camera, This is where you would store your negatives, in these little sleeves in the book. So anyway, so I tore them apart, and then at the bottom of each one it was open here. So I just, after I tore it down the center, I just folded that up and glued it. So now it's like a pocket, see? Anyway, but it's really thin paper, and so it doesn't work great to actually glue them into a journal because the paper tears pretty easily. One of these journals I actually did glue one in, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that because I'm afraid that it'll just tear on you. So anyway, so I just stuck one in each journal and just filled it up with little random book pages and things like that. Yeah, so lots of little goodies, lots and lots of little goodies in these. A lot of stuff that I printed off, but you know, all of these papers are authentic, like vintage papers pretty much. I mean, this isn't old paper, but it's definitely vintage inspired, I guess. Anyway, you know what I mean. Taken from vintage paper. I love this book. I think this was the last of the pages from this book. Isn't that gorgeous? Some glassine paper. There's a few sheets of glassine paper in each journal. Like I wanted to use some of my cut out mushrooms as little tuck spots. Mushrooms, toadstools, whatever you call them. And there's the page from the little bird book guide, you know, guidebook. This is from the French encyclopedia. And it's funny, Tim Holtz has, he must have the same encyclopedia because these images came from the actual encyclopedia that I have and that I scanned. And then it was funny, I was watching one of his videos the other day and I noticed that he has these in one of his packs. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway. And I took apart my little Denison flower field guide, and I just gave you a few pages from that. And then, you know, those little books those little wire-bound books that they have quotes and all these really cool little floral illustrations and stuff in them with all these neat quotes. I've had a couple of those. I decided I'd take them apart and share those with you guys. This is that grid paper that's almost like, it's almost like construction paper. It's got a neat texture. This is another like farm ledger, or yeah, I think it was from a farm. Some more French. There's one of these in each journal. This was from a photo album, but the pages are perforated. So at some point, you know, you might want to add a strip of washi tape on there or something. Or, you know, if you want, you can always tear that page out easily. And then you would have a little tab left over that you could add to if you wanted to later. This is a little French botanical book that I got from Louise. Just lots of little goodies. This tag I stapled onto the edge of that page. This side is not perforated, but the other side is for some reason. And then each one of these journals, I made a little, just like a little notebook, kind of like a little mini journal. It's like hand stitched, just like a little junk journal in each one, using a lot of the offcuts and stuff from the pages that I used in the journal. So it's kind of like a little baby sister or something. And then there's a page here you can make into a pocket on each one if you wanted to. So each journal has a different size notebook in it with, you know, different cover, because these are made from actual pages from a botanical book that I had. So, and then I didn't do anything on the back because I just, like I said, I love this, this marbled paper. And I thought if you want a pocket there, then there's certainly options in the journal that you could just glue something on there and use it as a pocket if you want to. So anyway, so that is, this is journal number 3. And there's the key. So I'm not sure what anybody's considerations are on, you know, what you would base your choice on, but I did add, I mean, I took 10 pictures of each journal. I just, you know, I think it's really hard to represent everything in 10 images, right? So that's another reason why I like doing videos. So, but this is journal number 6. It says curious. This one actually says sublime in the little, it says sublime in the book plate. This one is curious. And then this is the skeleton key. So that's number 6. This is number 5. Here's the skeleton key. I'll show it to you in my hand so you can see it better. And then this one says explore. And some of these book plates I actually did do some gilder's wax on them, so they're kind of distressed, so just a little bit. Anyway, I love the way that these look with all of the ornate you know, design on the covers too. I just think it, I don't know, it just goes together, you know what I mean? This one is number 4. This is the key. Some of them are a lot more rusty than others, and this one is also curious. It says curious. And this is number 2. Here's the key. It's a little bit smaller. And this one says riveting. This is number 1. Here's the key. This key is a little bit more rusty and grungy. And this one says giggle in the little book plate. This is number 12. And this key actually shows a little bit more of the base metal coming through. Not as rusty. This one says focused. And number 11. Here's the key. And this one says charming. This is number 10. It's a small little key. I like this one. It's like super rusty. This one says beautiful. And this is number 9. There's the key. Isn't that cute? I love the bottom of it. It almost looks like it broke off at some point, but I don't think it did. Anyway, I like this key a lot. And this one says sublime. And this is number 8. It's kind of the same style key. This part is a little bit longer on this one. This one says confident. And the last one, number 7. Here's the key. Aren't they yummy? I just love these old skeleton keys. And this one says fascination. Okay. So that is all of the encyclopedia journals. I'm thinking about doing some minis. I haven't done minis for quite a while, but I'm so inspired now after getting these done, and also by all those new papers and stuff, you know. So I might do some minis for March. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so like I said, I'm working on the listings now on these, so just keep an eye on my shop. But I will have them listed tonight. Okay. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And thank you for subscribing and liking the video if you don't mind. That always helps. And thanks for visiting Carla's channel too yesterday. That was awesome. So, okay, guys, love you. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.